I'm Elizabeth. Standing in the chaos of my parents' house, the screams of my sister and the panicked whispers of my father filling the air, I felt a strange sense of calm. Just moments ago, I had transferred $450,000 into their account, only to watch as their world crumbled around them. Andrew's phone call about the federal hold on all their accounts was like a final nail in the coffin. It all started when I buried my 6-year-old son, Tommy, alone under the sweltering Miami sun. The humidity was suffocating, and I kept looking for my family, but they never came. I made excuses for them until I saw the link my mother, Victoria, sent me on my phone. It was a listing for a luxurious beachfront villa, priced at exactly the amount of Tommy's life insurance and trust fund combined. While I was laying my child to rest, they were shopping for their own gain. Driving back to my apartment, the silence was deafening. The flowers in the back seat smelled sickly sweet, like a reminder of the finality of Tommy's death. When I got home, instead of breaking down, a cold clarity washed over me. I logged into the flower shop website using my mother's password. I always ordered the gifts she took credit for. I found that they had pre-ordered the funeral flowers 2 weeks ago, meaning they knew they wouldn't be there for me. My sister, Lily, was no better. I checked our joint credit card. While I was at the funeral home, she spent $350 at a high-end boutique in Miami and another $180 at a fancy coffee shop while I was writing Tommy's eulogy. I immediately removed her as an authorized user. I also took back control of the family cabin in the Smoky Mountains. I bought it with the money from my divorce, a place for Tommy to experience snow. But my parents, George and Victoria, used it every weekend to host their friends, while I paid the property taxes. I changed the access codes on the smart lock, cutting them off from the cabin. I then started to reflect on my life with them. For years ago, after George retired early, Victoria called me in tears, saying they were about to lose their house. I had just landed a big contract as a wildlife illustrator, so I felt both rich and guilty. I started paying $1,800 a month towards their second mortgage. George never said thank you, just a simple good girl. You're useful. Lily always asked for my help. Once, she wanted to go to Bali for an influencer trip. Victoria cornered me at dinner, saying Lily was so talented and just needed a break. I paid for her flight, but she never tagged me in any of the photos she posted. Another time, she totaled her Mercedes in an accident. George signed the loan and was worried about his credit score. I paid the $450 deductible. They used intermittent reinforcement on me. They would ignore me for weeks, then give me a small compliment or a quick hug, making me think they loved me. But looking at the spreadsheet I kept, filled with all the money I'd spent on them, I finally broke free from the illusion. 2 days after Tommy died, a package arrived. Victoria texted me, "Something to help. Love you." Inside were overdue bills and a foreclosure notice for their vacation home, with a note saying, "Do the right thing, Elizabeth. Family helps family." Then, one afternoon, there was a pounding on my door. George and Victoria came in like they owned the place. George started going through my fridge, throwing out expired food, while Victoria criticized my wildlife paintings on the wall, saying they were obsessive and I was spiraling. They presented me with a voluntary conservatorship document, claiming they wanted to help me manage Tommy's trust fund. If I didn't sign, they threatened to call the authorities and have me involuntarily committed, using forged evidence like fake emails. Lily was outside in her Range Rover, live streaming, trying to create a public narrative that I was unhinged. I knew I needed to fight back. I called my lawyer, Mark. His office was filled with servers humming in the background. My late husband's uncle, Robert, a retired prosecutor, was also there. They showed me that Lily had racked up a $380,000 debt in an illegal Miami gambling ring, and George and Victoria had co-signed. They were desperate for Tommy's trust fund. I decided to set a trap. I went to my parents' house, pretended to give in, and transferred the money. Then, as the chaos unfolded with a federal hold on their accounts, I revealed that I had filed an IRS whistleblower report the day before. The ledger from the gambling ring flagged their accounts, and the transfer triggered an automatic freeze. The fallout was immediate. George and Victoria lost their house, and Lily fled the state. I received a whistleblower reward, which was enough for me to start over. I used the rest of Tommy's trust to create the Tommy Wilson Wildlife Conservation Scholarship. I didn't lose my family. I finally stopped carrying the weight of their greed.